Onefootflipper.
Okay, in this video, we let my daughter Julie operate the camera for most of, if not all of the sale. Let's take a look and see what we found. Oh, see the fake leg hopping around there? I've got that Furby up at 45 right now. It's got a lot of watchers.
They are so annoying. But a good sell there, right? It's okay.
LOL?
Those aren't LOLs, Dad. They're just random dolls.
Oh, these aren't Monster High?
Some of them are. It's kind of hard to tell. Most of them are kind of ruined.
Monster High, better than LOLs.
Ooh, see?
Oh, that's cold.
This is why I buy coolers, because see, I just put everything in the cooler, and then I buy the cooler.
That is exactly why I buy coolers, because the cooler can just be a storage location in my inventory system until somebody buys it.
He works, he just needs batteries.
And they're usually cheaper than buying tubs.
Yeah, 2Zs. So like, it's a little girl, and then she has like a little.
Hey, let's point the camera directly at the ground.
I don't know. My daughter used to play with them like crazy.
Oh yeah, I know what these are. Yeah, they're. I don't think they're called that.
Hey, Jules,
Onesies,
if you're trying to
twosies.
be the YouTube video girl, why don't you walk around and look at everything
Right.
with it instead of just pointing the camera at the ground the whole time.
Okay. Can everybody spot everything that I miss while she's walking around in shaky cam mode? Most of those board games looked bad. In general, trivia games have no resale, and that's what most of those seem to be.
Julie, will you pick that up?
I can't see it.
It's right there.
What?
I'm good at
What? I can't see it.
It's right there. It's
asking
something
other
on the
people to
ground.
pick things up off the ground for me.
The thing that
Where did it drop from?
it dropped from my hand.
Oh, you physically dropped it. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you knocked it off. Okay.
Need to teach Julie to talk about the things she's looking at if she's going to do any more filming.
Massively.
What are those little ones there? I missed those.
See why we say those?
Some sort of baby laptop there. Don't know what that is either. She can move so much faster than I can, but I can keep the camera pointed in a generally better direction than straight down.
It's empty.
Oh, it's just an awesome piece. Okay.
Julie always tries to buy Beanie Babies at garage sales,
We got like 4 of them. We only needed 3.
which is fine when the people want a quarter for them, and not so much for the people who know what they got.
You can dig through that whole box if you want. There's all kinds in there.
Really?
There's a woman at our local flea market who,
How much?
according to herself, is a Thai representative or whatever, and she's been trying to sell her Beanie Babies at the 90s prices since the
Okay,
90s.
well, Jules, $2 is a lot.
Won't take any offers, no prices come down on anything. Never see anyone purchase anything from her.
Well, I can tell some of them are vintage.
Will lie and say that old ones are brand new,
I mean, this.
We don't
and
buy
that she
actual
just
Beanie
bought them
Babies,
from the
though.
distributor.
Yeah, like this is not real. It's just something cute I like.
That's a Wild Republic. Oh no, that is a Beanie Boo.
I have tons of these.
I think we actually sold that
And this
koala
is a
beanie boo
carnival
already.
prize.
Okay, Jules, you're going.
Down the
You're-
foothill.
you're
Do you
good.
even look through the big plushies?
Yeah, look through the big plushies, Jules. Why don't you not worry about the little ones?
Yeah, I don't think their prices were good there on their little
These
ones.
are the only two I was actually going to
Okay.
take.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, it's already over. The video started over again. How could something like that ever happen? I have no idea. Okay, now that we've seen a little sale footage, I thought I'd look at 10 interesting items or good value sales I've had in the last 2 months. We'll start at the bottom. What I did here is I just sorted my recent sales by order total. So it did actually make one thing that went international jump up into there that wouldn't have otherwise made it because of the excessive shipping cost, but it was an interesting item, so I'm going to take it anyway. First, we'll start with this. Middle-earth role-playing combat screen, sealed. Middle-earth role-playing game was a competitor to Dungeons & Dragons back in the 80s. Not a lot of people bought it. It was pretty rare, even more rare to buy the combat screen, which was a little thing that the game master put in front of himself, so no one could see him rolling his dice or his notes, and this one is sealed. For all I know, this could be the only sealed one in the world. I started it at $150. After one price drop, it sold for $140. I bought this in an RPG book lot of 100 books that I paid $300 for, so I had $3 into this. Let's see what we got next here. Flames of War, British half-patrolled new in box sealed. This came from a very big wargame estate buy. I don't know what I particularly had into this, but it certainly wasn't $140. Apparently a lot of this stuff they don't make anymore, or they only make plastic versions of it now, so the metal versions are much more valuable. This is the one that went international, Ryzen flip wall clock. This is a very neat item. It's very large. It's hard to tell from the picture, but that's sitting on a 18-inch wide bench there. I got this at the Goodwill bin, so I paid $1.89 per pound for it, so it probably cost me $8 or $9. It works perfectly. I started this out higher, but eventually I got $90 for it, or $89.09, and it went international. One of the more valuable Avalon Hill war games. Most Avalon Hill box games aren't that valuable because they're pretty common. But this one is one of the more expensive ones. It's unpunched. That means the person never actually played the game. They didn't take out all the little cardboard pieces. And it has apparently an expansion that you had to send away for. The expansion's incredibly rare, which is what really put the price up on this. I got this. It was from the same estate that I got all the tanks from, but this wasn't a separate purchase that I negotiated there. I think it was about $300 for about 30 boxed games. So I had $10 in this one. Another one, same sale, Squad Leader, Anvil of Victory, unpunched. Another one of those games where you put all the little cardboard pieces out and pretend to do World War II. 150 had $10 in it. This one is a great one. Catacombs of Terror Warhammer Quest. Basically, any old game that is like a board game, Dungeons and Dragons type of thing, is usually going to be good. This wasn't even all here, and I got $200 for it. This one came from the estate of my friend Ed, who passed away a few years ago. I bought his whole collection from his wife after he died. There's no way I could figure what I had into this particular item. His estate paid for itself a long time ago. This sat in my basement unlisted because I was hoping the missing pieces would eventually show up, but they did not. A camera. DSLR Canon EOS Rebel. Got $300 for it. I paid $20. This is one I could have got a lot more for. I don't remember where it came from because I've had so many Magic cards and purchased so many Magic cards. But I let this sit up on eBay way too long. I didn't watch the prices close enough. They started out at over $800 back during the peak of trading cards, during when the COVID money was going on. I didn't lower the price fast enough, and I rode this all the way down from being worth $800 to the $325 that I eventually sold it for. Why it's so valuable is limited edition beta. That's the second printing of Magic the Gathering from 1993 or 94, and it's a rare card. It's on what's called the reserve list, which means they're not supposed to reprint it ever again, which they actually recently did in a product with a different back that also cost a fortune. But either way, Pandora's Dice Wheel. This is a little spinner. Those that used to cost, what, $15 or $20, $20 back in the day. But they didn't make many of them. Little spinner to represent any sort of dice totals that you want to do. This was in the box. This came from the, this was one of the items in that purchase I said of 30-ish war games for $300. So I had $10 in this and sold for $350. This was my best flip of the year. Warhammer Lord of the Rings painted army. These are all metal figures. These are almost all good guys. But you've got the various elves and heroes, human lords of some sort. I don't know Lord of the Rings that well to know what they're called. Gollum right there. Lazy halflings on the ground, or hobbits. They're hobbits when it's Lord of the Rings, not halflings. A whole bunch of Gandalfs. Sold for $1,000. There were 8 or 10 cases of these that I made a deal for, sight unseen, $200 for all of the cases. I wasn't 100% sure what I was buying when I made the deal, sight unseen. And this one alone sold for $1,000. I think I've got a couple left. The others have sold for $300 to $700 each, and there's a couple of them still left. And I think that's everything I've got for today. Thanks to all my new subscribers. My new channel has already, after 4 days, has almost twice as many subscribers as the channel I've had for years. Any questions, put them in the comments. Anything you want to see or ask, put them in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, visit the store.